John Boy here, and did some more work on this. I had to beef it up because we get 3 feet of snow here, and I have no place to store this out of the weather, and I'm going to have chickens in it, so I can stand up in the center of this at about 280 pounds and it doesn't even flex. If you notice, it's like a rectangle with the vertical support in the middle, so therefore it will act like a floor truss. So, and they're made to hold a good amount of weight, so I don't need it to hold as much as they're designed. So it adds to the weight, but I need to be able to have several hundred pounds of snow on this. So that should be fine. I'm going to put a bull rope with some plastic over it so that I can put it across my hips. So whenever I pull it, because whenever you pull these, it doesn't matter how fit you are. If you have it so that you can comfortably put it across your hips and walk with it, you will not add any vertical impact to your spine that you just add day to day. It actually, over the course of years of dragging one of these, will substantially decrease the wear on your back. So that's why it's going to be designed that way, so that I can pull it without too much of a problem, because I have my own limitations. So it's not pretty how it's put together here, but I had to put it, I put a T in here. I think you can see the end of this sticking out. Let me put you in there close. So that's how it's done. Just some 2x2s that I made. And let me switch around here and I can show you a bit more. Okay, so you can see how nice these are twisted. That's like that. So, and this one is pretty much a pretzel. That is why I bought 2x4s and ripped them down. Now I will be putting a support across this way, there, and there, not here. The roof will be on those 3 sides. You'll have a screen here. I will also have it so that I can have a panel over this in the wintertime to prevent the snow from just burying it. So, and then I'm going to put rollaway nest boxes, 3 or 4 across here, 3 or 4 across here. I want the rollaways just because I don't want to have to be washing the eggs. If I'm going to be selling them at all, I don't like the idea of having to wash them. They have a coating on them that prevents them from getting bacteria in it. And if I wash that off, they absolutely have to be kept in the refrigerator, although in America that's a standard. But if they're roll away, I don't have to wash them. It's less work for me. It's plain and simple. It's less work. It's healthier. I don't do all this to make it so that these eggs are better and then put the egg at risk of contamination. So I cannot hold this and do the work, so I will be back with a couple clips in stages. And as I progress on this, because I will not get this all done this week, I have a couple days here to get work into this. So I will go ahead and get this done so we can get the chickens out in it, at least temporarily, and Dr. Goose in it temporarily. And then finish it up so that I can start pulling it around. Try to walk around here so you can see how I support. I ended up supporting the corners this way. This one's in here, anchoring these two together, and this one out here is just to hold the corner and give a little bit more support. I ultimately went that way to keep the thing light. It's fairly heavy. I don't like it to be this heavy. Joel Salatin makes the point not to make it this heavy, and he has a very adequate point on that. If I just went 2x2 frames, except for the bottom ring, it would be lighter. But it's got to hold 3 feet of snow. I could easily get 3 feet of snow this year. If not this year, maybe next year we could get as much as 3 or 4 feet. So we get some lake effect off the Great Lakes. And when I lived in Pittsburgh, excuse me, the one time we went ahead and we got as much as 4 to 5 feet of snow. I live further north than that. So now you can see it's not the prettiest, but it'll work. So I'll be back in a little bit. John Boy back here. So gotta have these lined up. I have it so it's 1.5 inches on each end. I meant to have 1.5 inches. Ended up with 1.25 inches. So I'll flip the camera around here and give you a better view of everything. Alright. Here's the little screws that they say are supposed to be with this. You don't really need them, but I figured I'd do it with those. So this is going to help keep the water, the snow and ice out. So it actually worked really good. I expected this to just push down, but the threads are so thick, they actually hold the plastic up. So that's the first one, ends there. I will show you this. It ends up hanging over the center support 1.5 inches. So I put a block of wood here. Put a block of wood for the hinges to mount on too. So that way the door, I don't have to cut this plastic at all. It's just the way it lined up for me. So you can see it's got a little bit of an overhang over there, but that's not going to matter. So now I'll go ahead and I will put a screw down through this edge, and then I'll just line up. Let me pull that and show you. It lines up with the boards. So at most I get 50-mile-an-hour winds here. So I should only need 3 across, from what I understand. If I was getting much more than that, I would put 4 or 5 across. But I'm only getting like 50-mile-an-hour winds here. So I will go ahead and cut a couple pieces, fit across that. I should only need to cut 2 or cut 1 in half. And I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done with that part. Okay, so I'm back. Let me see if I can get you a really good view. There you go. Now, there, you can't see that, can you? There's a board all the way. Ah, there we go. I can get it for you. So, there's a board across for them to roost on. Plus, they'll use this board that's across, but that way they have more than enough in the back out of the rain and weather if it rains. And I can put another one in there later. Now, for the walk around. We'll start right here. This side is closed off. It makes it harder for animals to get to it. It's the back side against the trees when you're going the one way. When you're going the other way, it'll be out. Now this is just put on here temporarily. It won't stay. Well, it looks a little ugly. You can't really see that. There we go. You can see how ugly it is. But anyways, I just put a couple screws here and one down there in the middle, 2 on each end. And the reasoning for that is that's actually going to go on this side over here. So, and I'm going to close this back off so that I can put the rollaway nesting boxes. Probably going to put 3 or 4 on each side so then they can have their fun. I will have to eventually make it so that it flips up to keep them out. So, once again, doing this with not 2 hands makes it hard to film. So, there you go. That board is notched at both ends, as you can see right there, and right there. Now this is a womanized board, only because it was the only one I had left. That's the only reason it's womanized. And when I have the chance to have a board that's long enough, I'll make it so it's not womanized. Which current track where it will be when that's done. So I just got the hinges. There's a bit of a gap here. I don't like that, but hey, you only do so much. Screws are sticking out. I don't see anybody sticking their fingers in there to play with them. So this is my version of it to support some snow. Now the frame of this door is sitting on top of that frame on all 3 sides, and the back is held up with the hinges. So I can cut that last piece and put it across here, 2 layers, and that'll protect this from the snow. Now, sorry about that. I tried to cut this with a saw. Let me see if I can get this so you can see it. Yeah, you can see that. That's my ugliness. These actually overlap a little bit, so I was able to hide the other one under there so it's overlapped. So, and one miss. Considering I've never worked with this stuff before, that's why I had to learn the hard way. Don't saw it. I guess if you have like a plywood blade, you could saw it. You're cutting a bunch of it. I just used handle clippers, shears. These are tin snips, and they're sharp enough. Despite the years that I've used these are I don't know. So anyways, I had to resort to my old drywall screw gun and masonry drill my brother gave me when I first became a carpenter, because my batteries ran out. So, but I finished it. I just got to put the rope in the corners, and I'll probably make a quick short clip whenever I do that, or I'll add it to another video later. So I hope you enjoyed this. I try to include everything in the video and not leave things out with where you put it on Instagram and everything. So let me see where the, yeah, I use these, and I don't know where the screws are that are not in this. So on Instagram at SchaeferCo Farm, at Twitter, and Facebook page, SchaeferCo Farm. These screws will be on there with a picture of this drill. That will show you what they look like. Here is very bright. So that's what I wanted to show you. Oh, and one last thing. This is just the brand name, but ignore the brand name if you can't afford the name brand. This type of stapler makes it a positive place. It's called positive placement. It has to be pressed on the corner, and it will actually make your job a lot easier. And don't forget, if you're building something in your driveway, mind where all the screws and nails and staples go. Because if you can't find them, your tires will find them for you. So, this is John Boy with SchaeferCo Farm. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.